In late 2005, it was announced that the PDC had signed up to the World Anti-Doping Agency Code and that from the 1st of January 2006, players would be tested in and out of competition. In November 2006, the first positive test was announced, with Robbie Green being given an 8-week ban after testing positive for marijuana at the UK Open, where he was only the 8th player to be tested since the rules were introduced. That event was only Green's 7th PDC event, and he'd gone on a good run to the quarterfinals, where he lost 11-8 to John McGowan. It was revealed that, as he had no intention to increase his performance, the maximum ban was a year, but he was only unable to play for 8 weeks and 2 days. Robbie was ordered to pay back the £4,000 he had earned at the UK Open, but the money was not awarded to Terry Jenkins, who he beat. He did pay that back, meaning he was free to play a World Championship qualifier in December 2006. He was also given a £2,000 fine by the DRA Disciplinary Committee. The incident caused Robbie to lose sponsorship, causing him to play in fewer events in the years following the expiration of the ban. That was a very short ban for a relatively unknown player at the time, but we are now going to take a look at the second player to be banned, one who was far more notable and got a much longer ban. That was Welshman Richie Burnett. Richie rose to prominence in the BDO in 1994, winning the Dutch, Welsh and Denmark Opens, as well as the British match play, before picking up his first major, the World Masters. Things got even better at the start of 1995, when he managed to win the Lakeside World Championship, beating Raymond van Barneveld 6-3 in the final. Over the following few years, he reached 4 more BDO major finals, but failed to pick up another title before moving over to the PDC in 1999. He reached the final of the World Match Play in 2001, but in his time in the PDC, up to 2014, he never reached the final of a major again. He even stopped playing for a few months in 2009 due to financial difficulties, as he was on benefits and scared of being unable to feed his children. Richie eventually returned to the game and managed to win his first PDC Pro Tour title at a Players Championship event in 2011, securing qualification for the World Grand Prix at the last possible opportunity. He managed to reach the semi-final of the Grand Prix, his first major semi for 8 years, and also reached the quarter-final of that event in 2014, helping him to secure a spot in the top 32. That meant he was guaranteed a spot in the 2015 World Championship, but just a few days before the Ali Pali draw, it was announced he'd been removed from the field due to undisclosed personal reasons. Following the Worlds, it was announced that he had not renewed his tour card for the following year, with again no reason being given. But around the time, it was reported in the media that Richie had been banned due to a drug rule violation. Eventually, a report from UK anti-doping came out confirming that a urine sample provided by Richie at the 2014 Grand Slam qualifier in Wigan had tested positive for benzoylocoin, a metabolite of cocaine, which was on the prohibited substance list, and Richie did not have a therapeutic use exemption for. It was revealed that he'd been given the opportunity to disclose it on the doping control form, but had only indicated that he'd taken gout tablets and painkillers. The panel concluded that Richie had to take a degree of responsibility for taking the cocaine and that it had a role to protect the integrity of the sport, and as such, he was given an 18-month ban with the right to appeal. Richie did unsuccessfully appeal the decision, citing the case of Hull footballer Jake Livermore, who wasn't banned after testing positive for cocaine following the death of his newborn child. The appeal panel ruled that there were clear differences with that situation, and as such, upheld the ban, which was backdated to start in November 2014 and run until May 2016. Richie released a statement saying that he wanted to apologise to the fans for his actions that resulted in the ban, and that those close to him would know the personal challenges that he had faced, revealing that he'd been struggling with depression. He added that he was determined to return to darts at the end of the ban, as he was sure that he could compete again. He did indeed return to the PDC in May 2016 on the Challenge Tour, and he managed to win 2 Challenge Tour titles in the rest of the year. Then, at the start of 2017, he managed to win a tour card at Q School, returning to the Pro Tour, which he's been on and off ever since. He qualified for the 2023 World Championship, his first Worlds in 8 years since being forced to pull out due to the ban, and also beat Peter Wright in the 2023 UK Open to reach his first major quarter-final since the ban. We are now going to take a look at the third and final PDC player to be banned for drug use, and that is Englishman Kevin McDine. He began playing in the PDC regularly in 2007, and in that year he managed to reach a major semi-final at the Grand Slam, which he qualified for through the wildcard qualifier. His performance in the second round of that event, which saw him average 105.79 to come back from 6-3 down against James Wade, averaging over 120 in the last 8 legs, saw him win the Best TV Performance of the Year award for 2007. In 2008, he qualified for the World Match Play for the first time, where he began with a shock 10-8 win over Adrian Lewis. He then managed to reach the quarterfinals after beating Mark Walsh 13-9, but he then lost 16-6 to the dominant force back then, Phil Taylor. At the end of that year, he qualified for the World Championship for the first time, where he beat Alex Roy before losing to Dennis Smith. Since then, he has reached the World Championship 3 more times, picking up at least 1 win on each appearance. He eventually lost his tour card at the end of 2015 and began to play on the Challenge Tour, where, in June 2017, he won his first PDC title, beating none other than Luke Humphries in the deciding leg in the final. At the end of that year, he attempted to secure a return to Ali Pali at the PDPA qualifier, but he lost 5-1 to Jimi Hendrix in the preliminary round. It was then over 2 years before we saw him in the PDC again. It was eventually revealed that, at the last event he played in, he'd given 4 urine samples to a doping control officer, with the samples then being transported for testing in London. Benzylaconin, a metabolite of cocaine, was found in the samples. Kevin did not have a therapeutic use exemption, and as such, he was given a provisional suspension from events in December 2017. Kevin admitted to the violation, but said that it was unrelated to sports performance and that he'd ingested the cocaine in November 2017, having also consumed a significant amount of alcohol with friends. UCAD accepted that the use was outside of a sporting competition, leading the ban period to be 2 years, which Kevin did not appeal, meaning he was banned from PDC events until November 2019. He has since been back to Q School 5 times, but failed to win a card on every occasion, but he got the chance to play in 19 of the 30 Players' Championship events in 2021 due to the mass COVID withdrawals. Drug testing is here to stay in darts, and in 2017, MVG and Gary Anderson even supported calls for more testing, with the players feeling that random and regular home testing visits should be introduced. Thanks for watching this video. If you found it interesting, don't forget to subscribe, as currently under 17% of my viewers are. Also, hit the bell icon so that you get notified whenever I upload a brand new video. If there are any other dart scandals you want me to cover, let me know in the comment section down below.